Hello everyone, this is Darshan Maharaja welcoming you to episode number 38 of the elevator chat series of our Canadian journey. As we bask in the warmth of spring, there are major issues to ponder. Today I want to focus on the messaging that in order to tackle the housing affordability crisis, we will target to build 4 million homes over the next 7 years. That would mean more than doubling the rate of construction. A lot of people have pointed out that we don't have enough manpower resources at hand to ramp up construction to that level in that time frame. This is a valid concern, but as far as I have seen, there hasn't been any discussion about the availability of another key resource needed for this exercise, namely financial capital. So I thought I will do that today. Before I begin, allow me to make 3 clarifications. 1. Today's argument applies to all 3 federal parties, not just the Liberals who gave out the number of 4 million homes. To wit, CPC leader Pierre Poilievre has been pushing the same line since at least July last year, when I posed the question of the housing crisis to him. And NDP leader Jagmeet Singh wants all homes to be affordable by the simple or simplistic device of making them affordable. 2. What I am presenting here is my reading of the situation, so when I use words like is or will, they are not to be taken as definitive assertions but rather as possibilities. And 3. As the famous saying goes, it is difficult to predict, especially the future. Now let us turn to the topic at hand. It is commonly believed that the current rate of housing construction is 200,000 units per year. However, the actual number for the past several years has averaged around 240,000 per year. Please see the link to the CMHC page in the description for this number. This means that absent the current push, we would have built about 1.7 million homes in the coming 7 years. The actual number proposed by the federal government is 3.9 million homes over the same period. We say 4 million, but actually it's 3.9 million. In other words, the proposal is to build 2.2 million additional homes in the coming 7 years. How much would it cost? Some time ago, I had seen on StatScan website that the cost to build affordable homes was just under $244,000 per unit in 2020. Unfortunately, I did not save that link and cannot find it now. If we take that number as a starting point and then factor in the huge spike in inflation that happened after 2020, it would be safe to say that the current cost to build affordable housing is $300,000 per unit. Let me add the caveat here that over the next 7 years, this amount would rise further because of inflation. But let us stick to the number of 300K for our working here. If we take the Jagmeet Singh option, i.e. build only affordable housing, then the amount of capital required to build 2.2 million units at 300K a pop would be $660 billion. Spread over 7 years, that means $94 billion a year. Remember, this is additional capital required, over and above the capital that is being invested in building homes in the regular course. This is roughly 4% of our GDP. Of course, the new housing that gets built over the next 7 years will not all be of the affordable variety. So we are possibly looking at additional capital requirement of anything between 6% to 8% of our GDP. The natural question is, does the Canadian economy have the capacity to generate 4% or 6% or 8% extra investable surplus every year? I think the answer is quite possibly no. The next question is, does Canada present an attractive destination for foreign investors to provide this capital for housing construction? I am not sure, but the answer is probably no. because as we know from the OECD forecast, Canada is going to be dead last in economic growth over at least the next decade, maybe 2 decades. So we are not likely to excite anybody's interest outside of Canada. Hey, let's go and put a few tens of billions of dollars there in housing construction. No, I don't think that is very likely. The net result of this could be that the existing stock of capital, including that being generated as time goes by, will be increasingly diverted to building homes. It will compete for that capital, the extra building of homes. Since not enough additional capital is available, this would put upward pressure on the cost of capital. Simple demand and supply equation. In other words, both home builders and homeowners would end up paying more for their borrowing. The former would pass on their cost in terms of increased interest to the buyers of homes, making the homes more expensive to buy. The latter, the home buyers, in addition to having a larger mortgage as a result of the foregoing, would also be paying a higher rate of interest on their mortgage. If this scenario plays out, and let me emphasize the if here, then the push to make housing more affordable, or at least less unaffordable, will have the perverse effect of making housing more unaffordable. At least that is what seems likely or possible to me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Until we meet again, goodbye and be well.